Eovaldi joining a group that has been assembled in the last 12 months, if you think about it. Jon Gray, a year ago, it's a 4-year, $56 million contract. A lot changed after that in 2021. Again, right before the new year, they bring in Jon Gray. What was part of the change? Chris Young taking over for John Daniels as the executive vice president. Now, he was the GM when they signed Jon Gray, so he was part of that deal as well. Then they acquired Jake Odorizzi from the Braves in exchange for Kobe Allard, who at one point was a top-notch prospect. That was in 22 in November. Martin Perez became a revelation, and so many teams wanted him, but they chose not to trade him. They held on to him. He takes a 1-year qualifying offer for a little less than $20 million. Because why? They knew they were going to spend money on the rotation. Bring in Jacob deGrom. Almost $190 million over 5 years. You got one of the premier pitchers in the sport as your ace immediately, but they weren't done. Don't sleep on Andrew Heaney, who found something with the Dodgers, became a swing and miss guy. He made appearances in the bullpen, but they're expecting him to be a starter. 2 years, $25 million. He, again, can get swing and miss. And you get the same thing about Nathan Eovaldi. Somehow, 2 years, $34 million was too rich for the Boston Red Sox. They didn't bring him back, and now he is in that rotation, probably sliding in the number 2 spot behind Jacob deGrom. So we talked about the Atlanta Braves and their business model, and you draft, develop, and lock them up after year 1 or year 2 in the big leagues. What do we make of what Chris Young is doing to address the pitching, specifically the starting pitching in Arlington?
You know, it's a unique position because Chris Young, I just enjoy how intelligent he is, and you knew that he would figure it out. Now, what do you do after you take over the position from John Daniels? You look top to bottom. What do we have? Like, what do we have in this organization? He realized they had to change the pitching. Not only did he change the pitching with the quality of people he got depth as well. Very few GMs can go in the marketplace and not only fill out their rotation, but get the depth that they have going into next season, where pitching for the Rangers for the first time in quite some time might be a strength.
And what's crazy, you don't see their names there, they're top 2 prospects in their farm system. Yeah. Jack Leiter and Kumar Rocker, who are coveted top 5 draft picks. Right. So you've got pitching. Somehow, some way, this former pitcher, Ivy League guy, Chris Young, was able to take clearly the weakness of the organization and, dare I say, make it a strength. That crowd looks like it could be a strength.
It is a strength. And I think when you bring in a guy like Bruce Bochy to actually handle it, I think it's going to be even better for these guys, because he'll have these guys in great position to be successful. Now, you look at the youth side of it, they got to get their feet up on them. You know that, right? Get into the league and make sure they can go the distance, or get them some length and learn the league, sooner than later. But you went out and addressed what's going to win you ball games. When you sit in the postseason and watch baseball and you sit there and you go, offense, you go, no, it's not offense. It's these guys. And these guys are going to give you a chance. If they competing in spring training and this rotation can get on the right foot, they can go out there and compete in a division that's winnable for them. I mean, that's what it seems.
Well, let's dive into that.
Okay. Well, you can.
All right, so based on everything we just talked about, okay, this makes me feel like we're talking about the Devers. Oh, you kept Devers, but are the Red Sox anything better than the last place team going in 2023? Are they better than 4th place? Who did they leapfrog? If they're improved, who are they better than in the AL West, Ron?
I think they're right behind the Astros. I think they're going to be the most improved team in that division. I think they are a team that's going to be in the mid-80s, maybe threatening 88, 89 wins, maybe a postseason team. I really like this team.
Really?
Yeah, I like them third.
Third, okay.
They're behind the Mariners. See, the Mariners still have that energy. They still have that. That window was open. I like the way they play. I like how Scott Service has those guys in positions. Like when you go do a game with the Mariners, you're like, okay, I like where they're going. This team, in my opinion, I still need to see a little bit from the offense. Where, look, the second half for Marcus Semien was what I expected in the first half, but it just wasn't there. Corey Seager is better than what he's shown. So if the offense can give these guys some runs and they can sort of go out there and relax and not have to be perfect every time they go out there and toe the bump, then you got something cooking. But if you don't have that, it's going to be a struggle.
Based on analytics, people are saying that Corey Seager might be the most improved player in baseball next year.
He was the most affected by the shift.
Yes.
The lowest. So.
Yeah, so you see Nathaniel Lowe, what a year he had. Adolis Garcia is a stud.
100 RBIs.
Yeah, Jace Young at third base, he's not going anywhere. Former first-round pick, he's going to be at the hot corner for years to come. So their infield looks solidified with Chaim and Garver behind the plate. There are still spots that, again, the bottom of that lineup is not going to threaten anybody. I just think that the Angels did do their due diligence. They did their own version of building their starting rotation. Not at the DeGrom level that we saw from the Texas Rangers, but when you already have Shohei Ohtani and Mike Trout, you're going to get Anthony Rendon back.
Yeah.
You have to assume that this team's going to be better.
We assume that every season, though, don't we? We kind of assume every year
Yes,
that the
we do.
Angels are going to be a difference maker, and it's been hard for them. The final thing on the Rangers is that how they've changed the kind of club they are is that they had to beat you with their bat last year. Because of the pitching and who they've gotten, DeGrom and others, it might be they're going to be playing a lot of the games like the Mariners did. A lot of close games,
Yeah.
a lot of late games, and we'll see how they do in one-run games.